Hi fire signs, Aries, Leo and Sagittarius, Ascendant, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising. And for those cross-watching, in today's reading we're going to take a look and see, is this the right person for you? So is the person that you're currently in a relationship with, the person that you're dating, the person you're connected to, are they the right individual for you? It is going to be a general reading, so if you're after a personal one, please feel free to reach out and inquire. My email address will be listed below the video. Okay guys, let's go ahead and take a look, see what the cards say for you. Okay, what is going on? I feel like in the early stages of a relationship, of this relationship, things were moving quite quickly, okay? And I feel like some of you have hit a bit of a plateau now. The relationship, the connection has plateaued, and I think that's a lot to do with someone here being very fearful and being very afraid to move this relationship forward. I feel like your person has some insecurities, they have some doubts, they have some hesitancies, they have some reservations, and this is what's causing this person, it's what's preventing them from moving forward. It's what's causing this person to, stagnate their feelings for you, to stagnate the relationship, to slow things down. In the early stages of dating, or in the early stages of the both of you connecting, it's all these hyped up hormones, lust. But I feel like now that the relationship has, progressed a little bit further, this person, I feel this person has pulled back a little bit, okay? It's important for you to know that they haven't necessarily pulled back, not because they're not romantically interested, or not because, they don't want to pursue things further with you. They've pulled back because they're afraid, okay? It's a very strong fear-based energy. So this person may have even, you might have noticed, like, energetically, you may have noticed them just retract their energy emotionally and energetically from this relationship. You may have noticed like a very significant chill, a very significant shift in the overall energies. They may be a lot less talkative or a lot less responsive. You might not, you guys have not necessarily been communicating. They may have even distanced themselves physically, emotionally. They may have even ghosted you, or you just feel like for quite some time the relationship has just plateaued. It hasn't necessarily been moving forward. It hasn't necessarily been progressing. I think a lot of it has had to do with this person just, this person just being afraid. They're afraid to potentially develop their feelings for you in further, because they do see themselves falling in love with you. They do see the potential of this relationship. They do feel like this is something long term and this is something worth pursuing, but they're afraid. They're afraid. I think it's multiple things as well they're afraid of. The multitude of the swords seem to suggest to us that it's not just the one thing. I feel like this person is afraid of falling in love. Maybe they've never really been in love. Maybe they have loved in the past and it ended very painfully and violently for this person, and they don't want to necessarily get hurt. Maybe they, have insecurities here that they may potentially be projecting onto you and onto this relationship. Maybe this person feels like, they haven't, maybe this is someone who's a bit of, who's not sure, okay? They're not necessarily sure about their feelings. They're not necessarily sure about, whether or not, even though they see the potential, whether or not it's going to work out in the end, right? So this is someone who's a little bit, hesitant, and them pulling away could be a way of them protecting you. It could be a measure of them trying to protect not only themselves, but also your energy. I do feel like that for you, this person has been your happy place for quite some time, and I feel like them meeting you has put them in a very happy place, probably the happiest of places they've been in quite some time. But I'm also seeing that there is just a lot of, this person is, they're kind of trapped in their own mindset, they're kind of trapped in their own way of thinking, and I feel like it's this fear that also has them enslaved and trapped. They're afraid. I feel like this person is also someone who doesn't necessarily talk openly and freely about their emotions. They may be a little bit reserved, they may be a little bit closed off, or they could be carrying around some pain or trauma from the past that is just far too difficult for them to speak about. Maybe this person has, is also quite closed off in the sense that they've built their walls up so high, and for a long time they haven't necessarily let anyone in. So swords seem to indicate there is some sort of pain that is currently present in the energies. So whether it's a pain that they carry with them, whether it's your pain, whether it's the both of you having hurt each other and having said hurtful things to each other and having hurt the relationship. I'm also seeing that, I feel like for a lot of you have been a shining light in their life, and I feel like, they've been a shining light in your life as well. But with this person's energy, I feel like, they want this, but I don't know if they're ready for this, because this person I feel like they're afraid to move things forward. They're feeling a little bit insecure. They're feeling a little bit unsure. They could potentially also be attached to someone else, though, with the Two of Pentacles, right? This person might be seeing someone else, might be in a relationship with someone else. They may potentially be holding space for someone else in their life. So maybe for an ex to come back, maybe they feel like there's someone out there who's a little bit more compatible for them than you are. There is something here that's holding your person back from coming forward and from moving this relationship forward as well. I feel like there's also a certain energy of guilt that seems to bog down this reading. So maybe your person, if they've ghosted you or if they've pulled away, maybe this person feels guilty for doing that, but at the same time they feel like they had to, because there's just a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of inconsistencies in the energies, right? Maybe this is someone who isn't a fluctuating presence. This person comes and goes. Like, you take one step forward with them and then 2 steps back. They're hot, they're cold, and on and off. You're a thing, you're not a thing. It's a relationship. You don't know what it is. Like, there's just so much ups and downs in the relationship. There's a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of disharmony. I also feel like this person is very inconsistent with what they say or do. This is a strong indication. It is a red flag, and it's also a strong indication that this person isn't necessarily ready. Maybe they feel like the pacing, maybe they feel a little bit pressured, or they feel like the relationship is moving, at too fast of a pace for them. Maybe they just feel like they're not the right person for you, or you potentially might not be the right person for them. I feel like there's a lot of instability in this person's energy, and I don't know that stability is something that they can give you right now. I'm also seeing that this person is thinking a lot about you. If this is someone whom you're in no contact or no communication with, they are thinking about you, but they do feel guilty. Their thoughts seem to be riddled with this guilty energy, where they feel guilty for maybe not communicating with you. They feel guilty for ghosting you. They feel guilty for not responding. But at the same time, I don't know that energy is strong enough for them to, tell you what's on their mind, for them to reach out, for them to respond back to you. See, the person that you're set on should be someone who's also set on you. And right now with this person, it just feels like they're a little bit, I'm not saying that this is unrequited. I don't think it's that. I just feel like this person is afraid to move things forward. I do think, look, this person is as excited about you as you are about them. But I see that emotion, this like negative emotions, this emotion of, them being afraid that you're going to hurt them, or they're going to end up hurting you, them being afraid that history is going to repeat itself. I feel like some of these negative emotions have been building over time, and I feel like they were really decided about you in the beginning, but now they're a little bit lukewarm about you and about the relationship, only because, and I don't think it's anything that you've said or done. I think a lot of it is to do with this person and, their views on a relationship and their previous like romantic relationships. I'm also seeing that, there is red flags early on in the relationship, that I feel like a lot of you have these red flags have popped up, which have caused you to question, your person's truthfulness or their sincerity. I don't think you have a lot in common, but I feel like they respect your differences. You know, they don't shame you for your beliefs or for your values. I feel like they, you know, they support you in that sense. But you don't want to ignore any, you don't want to ignore any things that are red flags, right? This is someone, from what I can see in the energies, I mean, this is someone who I feel like, you know, they can transition from being fun to then being serious. But at the same time, I just feel like there's a bit of a conflict in the energies, or I just feel like there's a bit of a it's this refusal to communicate, and it's this refusal to compromise. And I think that, you know, I feel like if this person were the one, they would share a very similar vision of your future and of their future, right? You know, people grow and people evolve, and their goals and their visions sometimes for the future change, which is what causes people to grow apart. Um, Compromising on big life goals is what can lead to sacrifice on one person's end, and it's also what can lead to strong resentment, and you don't want this to happen. I do think for the most part, I feel like, look, they do share a very similar vision of your future, okay, in a sense where I do feel like they want something long term, and I do think they want, you know, they want this Ten of Cups idyllic, happy scene. They potentially want to have children, to settle down with you and have kids, or if they do have kids, you know, for their kids to be happy, for their kids to be healthy. So I do feel like they share a similar vision of you, of your future. I just, you know, I do think you're aligned on those topics, but I just feel like something to do with the pacing, maybe the time. Okay, maybe this person, even though they want these things, they may not feel like they're ready for those things, or they may not feel like they can give you those things, or they may feel like they're being pressured with the pacing. Somehow they might feel like it's moving too fast. There's something here that I feel like is causing them to doubt, or causing them to hesitate here with moving the relationship forward, which is, and I think you've noticed it, and I think you've seen a lot of red flags in the relationship, which is why it might just be a good idea for the two of you just to communicate and talk about things and see if you can, you know, work things out for the long haul. Alright guys, and these are your messages. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye.